What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have a review slash overview of the Tekela V4. And New Balance with their new models, I feel like they're really good and super underrated. And this is the new Tekela V4. So first, the colorway. The colorway is actually pretty nice. It's like this kind of like silver metallic color, and it has a bit of neon yellow and the New Balance logo. And then the sole plate is like blue and black with like again hints of like more like a lime or neon green. But I think it's a really good colorway. I feel like we don't really get to see silver boots all that much. So first, the upper. The upper is a hypo knit upper. So it's a knitted upper, and it's really soft. You guys can see, just super pliable. It does have like a little bit of a padded liner, so it does provide a little bit of cushioning. But I wouldn't say it's like overly padded or overly thin. I think it's a good in between. Also, as you guys can see, they have this like texture here. As you guys can see, it kind of raises off in here and in the instep. And I guess it's supposed to be more like to have a bit more grip on the ball, but honestly I didn't really feel that. Maybe get more like a ping sensation when like passing it or like hitting it here on the outside, but honestly I don't really feel it. I think it's more like a structure thing, just to add a bit more structure to the side of the upper, so when you're moving side to side the upper doesn't really stretch all that much. And what I like about this is that it doesn't really like take away from the softness of the upper, like here in the midfoot. Usually when we see like something here for laceless boots on the instep and like the outside of the boot, it's kind of hard and it kind of like hurts sometimes because it's trying to add structure so that there's no rollover, and you don't get that here. Like it's still really nice and soft. You don't really notice it, but it still adds like a good amount of structure to the midfoot of the boot. You also get this knitted material in the middle. It does have some stretch to it, but now it's not overly stretchy. It's kind of thick, and so like I feel like it does a good job of just holding your foot and like compressing. And I feel like it has like you guys can see all these stuff here, like it that kind of just helps it like tighten the boot a bit more, the knit, and so like your foot doesn't feel like it's slipping out or anything. And then the collar itself is just like I said, you don't really notice it as much. It does have a bit more of a compressed feel compared to like the Nike collar, so I guess in that way it's different. The lockdown that you get from this boot is actually pretty good for a laceless boot. I feel like it just, because the fit is really good, and we'll talk about the fit in a bit, it doesn't feel like your foot's gonna slip out or anything. The heel liner has like this kind of Velcro like material on the back, and so that grips your sock very nicely. And then the insole does have like their grip on the insole, which is pretty nice. Obviously it's still a laceless boot, so when you're striking the ball, running or cutting, you do get a little bit of movement from the top, but it's not as bad. I don't really mind. So I guess it just depends on how you like your boots and all that stuff. The boot fits really well. It wraps your foot very nicely without it squeezing your foot. Now the sizing of this boot is a bit weird, I think, just because I did go to a 9.5 and I do have a little bit of space left. I'll show you guys in the on feet, maybe you guys can see it. If I went to my size 9 US, it would have been too tight. Just because this toe box kind of looks a bit like lower, you guys can see. I feel like it's the narrowest part from the boot, so I feel like my toes were going to be a little too tight. So I decided to go up half a size, and I'm glad I did because the fit is perfect. Again, if I went to a 9 US, I think it would have been too tight and too uncomfortable. So I would say if you like a little bit more like space and wiggle room, you could go half a size up. But if you like your boots really tight, just stick true to size. Or if your cleats are already like really tight and really on the edge, and you want a little bit more space, I think you're safe going half a size up. Now the sole plate is also very unique, like the stud pattern anyways. The sole plate feels good, feels nice and flexible, and as you guys can see, these like extra studs here on the side. The idea of having these extra like studs, like small studs for more traction from side to side, is a good idea in my opinion. It doesn't really hurt the boot, so I don't mind them being there. So right now you're gonna see some like footage on the field of me juggling and just trying on the boots. In terms of break-in time, I honestly didn't have any trouble breaking these in. These kind of like, just because the upper is super soft from like the start, it just gets even softer as you wear them. The cost of this is $215, which is less expensive than the high-end Adidas laceless boots, which are like $275, $280 now. So if you guys wanted to try like a laceless boot, the New Balance Tekela V4 is an excellent choice. And something else that I forgot to mention is that the New Balance has like a wide fit version. So these are the wide fit version of the shoe. And I got these because I do have a slightly wider feet. And whenever I do try laceless boot, they're always too tight and too uncomfortable. But these I got in the wide fit and they're extremely comfortable. They don't feel like sloppy or anything. The fit is still great. So if you guys have a wider foot and always wanted to try laceless boot but you couldn't fit into them or whatever, New Balance is an excellent choice. The wide fit version is wide enough. But overall, I still recommend these boots to anyone looking for a laceless boot or just to try something new. The upper is extremely soft. You get a nice touch to it. Unique stud pattern, good sole plate. The fit is great. They're super comfortable in my opinion. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.